Welcome back to the channel, lads. I hope you all had a lovely few days with friends and family. Today we're back on it, back on Battlefield 2042, for better or for worse. But believe me, I have certainly read your comments on my past few videos, and I seriously appreciate it. Being told by your viewers that you'd stick with the channel even if I didn't cover Battlefield is such a relief, you have no idea. This game just isn't the one, I'm afraid, and without sounding too dramatic, coming back after Christmas and knowing this mess is waiting for me, well, it's not a great feeling. It's time to branch out on this YouTube channel, not only for the sake of being able to afford basic things like groceries and rent, but also more for my own headspace. I'm just not going to choose to follow a broken game that consistently drives a negative attitude. The transition to other games will be pretty subtle. I'll still be covering Battlefield, just not every day. I want to really try out other types of games here too. There's the obvious stuff like Halo, Ready or Not, or Hunt Showdown, but I'd also really like to play games and genres that I've never touched before, even off YouTube. My hope is that one day soon Battlefield 2042 will be playable with these issues addressed. Until then, 2042 is unfortunately on the back seat, as it just isn't worth it. With that, I've got 22 serious topics to share, issues or points that I firmly believe need to be changed in order for me personally to enjoy Battlefield 2042. And to be honest, even then, I just don't know. But addressing these 22 items would certainly go a long way. Completely rework the specialist system. It's clearly a means of changing Battlefield into something it's just not. Operators, heroes, legends, whatever you want to call them, it's the new multiplayer format that seems to have infected every first-person shooter out there. I think it's pretty clear why publishers go this route, as it's a much easier means to monetize unique characters over default soldiers. But that's what Battlefield has always been. I mean, even Hardline used the default police classes. You felt like you were part of an actual army of soldiers in previous Battlefield games, not specific people repeated 10 times. It's okay if the same assault player is repeated because they're just another assault player. But when there's 40 angels all running around the map, it really degrades the experience. Not to mention the technicalities of it all. Balance is just out the window. There's no such thing as enemy identification anymore, aside from a glow stick that breaks most of the time. And as you're playing, there's barely any chance of knowing what loadout an enemy is running, since specialists can use whatever they want whenever they want to. It's dumb, and I regret only seeing its true flaws now. Scoreboard. Just add one. There's no sensible reason to not feature a scoreboard in a squad-based first-person shooter in 2021. It's just backwards. It's actually not even backwards. It's completely inside-out thinking. DICE's entire argument against the scoreboard is that it promotes a competitive or negative mindset when playing. It makes bad players feel bad about themselves when they notice they're at the bottom of the scoreboard. Whereas in reality, the current scoreboard thing makes inexperienced players feel so much worse. Added back in, that isn't a legacy feature, it's beyond even being called essential. All chat. In a similar vein, the all chat feature has also been removed from Battlefield 2042. Once again, the reasoning behind its absence is laughable. It's too toxic. No, it's not. It's 100% not, because the censorship in the chat is so extreme, it censors everything. Being able to type GG into the end of round chat is again not a legacy feature. It's common sense to add this stuff. VOIP, or Voice over Internet Protocol, we were told it wouldn't be here at launch. That's alright, but seriously, again, this is a squad-based game. It's designed to punish the lone wolf player, and yet there's no way to communicate with squad mates directly. This just has to be added soon. Bug fixes. I don't need to say much on this, and honestly, I can't say much on this. I have run into a minuscule percentage of the bugs myself. I've been really lucky in that way. But spending at least 15 seconds on socials would highlight a different story. Falling through the map, not being able to shoot the primary weapon, spawn glitches, being stuck in the down state, having to quit the server. It's sad that as a community of players, we expect these bugs every release, myself included. It's not okay. More game modes. Right now, we've got Breakthrough and Conquest. Sure, there's more in Portal, but there's very little incentive to play Portal, as you don't actually gain experience. Whereas Frontlines, Operations, TDM, Domination, add Rush to All Out Warfare 2, and whatever happens, please DICE, don't make them time limited. Please, just don't. Persistent matchmaking. I'm guessing players are knocked back to the main menu so we actually unlock items we've earned that round. So say in Battlefield 5, if you unlock something, you'd need to back out of the server to actually be able to equip it. In 2042, this step seems to be done automatically, and if this is the reason, then yeah, while it's annoying and it makes getting into a game needlessly longer, I can see why it's necessary. Ideally, there'd be persistent server matchmaking with unlocks, but who knows if that's possible. Number 8 is a weird one, and it's one that I know could come across extremely snobby, but I don't mean it that way. DICE, you need to take better care. It's not hard to find something in this game that's just outright wrong, and I absolutely seriously hate the use of the word lazy, because you've just made an entire video game, and the word lazy is just thrown around far too often, but lorem ipsum should not feature in a game. It's filler text. Item descriptions should not look like this. That's also filler text. The same issues plagued Battlefield 5. It's like there was very little communication internally and someone just kept setting things live without double checking if they were ready to do so. Game development is hard. It's too much for me personally to wrap my head around, but this stuff, that's not game development. That's just common sense. Voice lines. They're a stark contrast to the world and lore released pre-launch. I want that game back. The narrative back then was all doom and gloom, proper apocalypse, but in game, these specialists are cracking one-liners every end of round screen and it's beyond cringy. Just let players toggle them off in the options if they want to. Performance. More FPS, better server stability, better optimization across all platforms including crossplay, improved hit registration, more advanced graphics settings. It's always been a bit of a thing for Battlefield and it doesn't do it very well historically. The game on low settings typically looks worse but not that worse. There's a huge outcry there for the low settings, here on PC at least, and presumably on console too, to actually make the game run better and clear up the visuals. I still get comments from players stuck on 40 FPS here on PC, and it's not even that the game looks better than the last one either. In fact, many would argue 2042 lacks the visual fidelity put out by even Battlefield 3, so further work is certainly needed to get this game running as it should. The menu system. Once again, we're being faced with too many clicks. Battlefield 5 received the exact same complaints. It takes too many clicks to do simple tasks. The settings are all over the place. Some options are missing from their tab but can be found somewhere else completely different, and some options are repeated 2 or 3 times unnecessarily. It's so simple though. It's video game settings. They've been a thing since the beginning of video games. How is it done wrong here? The on-off toggle needs to be looked at as well. It's an on-off switch. It shouldn't require more than a millisecond of thinking. Spectator mode. The Battlefield community in particular is one of the most talented out there when it comes to screenshots and cinematics. Sure, a lot of the marketing team at DICE started here on YouTube. Losing the Spectator camera was a huge blow to this portion of the player base, so adding it back in would go a long way. Vehicle overhaul. I personally think there are too many vehicles in All Out Warfare Breakthrough at least. The call-in tablet only adds to the carnage. Granted, I am basing my experience on Breakthrough as I haven't played as much Conquest, but still, Breakthrough is 50% of All Out Warfare. The Bolt being a transport vehicle is nuts too. The way I look at things is if I can do well in a tank or helicopter, there must be something wrong, as I'm useless in most games. Spawn screen. Absolutely one of my biggest issues with 2042. The spawn screen is awful. I do genuinely hate it. I think the whole thing needs to be redone. I've already talked about this in a previous video, so I won't get into it too much, but yeah, being able to zoom is a must. Right now, there's just no way of knowing what you're spawning into. Hazard zone. Oh, EA, would you just make it free already and give Portal a free weekend or two? Something needs to be done here because people are just clearly not buying the game anymore. Hazard Zone going free to play would open up the game to so many more players. It would give them a taste of what All Out Warfare and Portal could offer. Otherwise, keep it locked behind the paywall where it will surely die just as Firestorm did. Stats page. For players that want to rank up, improve their skill or KD, right now there's no incentive to play the objective or help teammates. In 2042 there's kills, assists, and the usual squad plays like revives and resupplies, but in previous games there was so much more to offer. Headshot bonus, distance bonus, bonus assist count as kill, nemesis kill, team savior, objective kill, and it was all tallied up and displayed on the stats page. The maps. I'd love to see the base game maps change with each new season of the Battle Pass. I mean, narrative-wise, the fighting we do as we play the game is technically the beginning of the 2042 war, hence why there's no destruction on the maps already. But it would be cool if each new season, well, the maps became more and more apocalyptic, with smoke, fire, and barricades scattered throughout, along with refugee camps and medical centers. Have some buildings on Kaleidoscope be up in flames, or make the weather conditions even more extreme. It's common for games to alter their maps as part of the live service. Warzone and Fortnite do it all the time. Battlefield could just go that extra step though and alter their base multiplayer maps instead. Speaking of the Battle Pass, please make it worthwhile. The rumor is that we'll be waiting another 3 months for Season 1 to release, so it just has to be worth it. One map and a couple of skins will just be laughed at. Typically, player retention nowadays only lasts about 3 to 4 weeks, so ideally, Season 1 would have already come out. So if we need to wait 3 more months, Season 1 needs to launch like a new game would. Tons of content, new guns, maps, bug fixes, the whole shebang. After the extremely rocky start 2042 has gotten off to, I'm not convinced EA will see this game through. I'm really not, especially after Battlefield 5. So Season 1 will need to go hard and convince players to stick around. HUD customization and scaling. Let us change the opacity of the heads-up display, alter the color scheme, the position of items, or even hide certain items as well, like my gadgets or something. Right now, things are a little bit busy in the world icon department, so being able to toggle things on and off or change opacity would be really cool. Marketing turnaround. Similar to what I said about Battlefield 5 just before the Pacific launched, I'm saying the same thing again today. The marketing for games now more than ever is just so crucial. The key art update, color change, and launch trailer for the Pacific relaunched Battlefield 5. I had a real life friend come up to me and seriously tell me they only bought the game because they thought it was something completely new. Unfortunately, so soon after launch, I believe the same must be done for Battlefield 2042, though it can be done organically through the live service. With each season, 2042 needs to update its key art, soundtrack, and theme. It's something Warzone does all the time, and believe me, it goes a long way. Players subconsciously associate certain colors or images with certain situations or events. For example, for most of you watching, this key art represents a buggy, mishandled, and controversial launch, whereas this key art represents a return to form. The same can be said about these two key arts. Push out a banger trailer again, get some seriously good content into Season 1, and shift focus to the future instead of letting us dwell on the rocky launch. Points 21 and 22 are sort of linked and are my most important points, not only as a creator covering this series, but as a longtime fan and player. EA and DICE, you 100%, absolutely, completely, undoubtedly need to shut up. You need to stop talking about your games and just put the work in. Let your developers, animators, software engineers, and talent actually do what they do. Stop treating players like we're stockholders. Stop pretending everything is sunshine and rainbows, because it's not. The Battlefield franchise is barely holding on to its longtime fans, most of whom have pretty much moved on. I'm sick of the promises. I want to see results. And with that, listen to the community and use the community, not random Fortnite players or hot sauce producers, your actual player base and creators that have stuck with the franchise. For those that didn't know, the Game Changer Network ended over a year ago, and while I joined the network right at the end of Battlefield 1's life cycle, I saw the good it did with Battlefield 5. I know the common belief is that Game Changers are sellouts that do anything to appease the EA gods, but in reality that could not be further from the truth. 2042 is the first Battlefield game since Hardline, I believe, to not utilize the player base as much as previous Battlefield games. I'm not asking for myself. I can give my feedback on design related things or marketing, but I'm talking about players that do genuinely know their stuff. Please go onto the forums, listen to the rant videos. There's some very clever people playing your game, and they have a lot of good ideas to share. You just need to put aside your pride and listen. But anyway, that's it from me. I hope everyone watching understands that I'm not ranting or whining about this stuff. It's always coming from a place of passion. I want 2042 to be a Battlefield game, but right now it's just not. It's more like a fan-made indie game trying to be Battlefield 4. Still, exceptionally fun a lot of the time, but not often enough to keep me playing. But anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more content from me. Until the next one though, I'll see you lads later.